And then I like. All right, so today we are going to start with multiplication and division. And I hope you are aware of both these operations, how to do multiplication, how to do division, right? So if needed, I'll explain how to carry out the multiplication or division. But first that we need to learn is all the different properties of it. Okay, like we did properties for addition and subtraction. Similarly, we have properties for multiplication operation as well as a division operation. Okay, so let's start with that. And you can take notes along with me if you want. Yes, Adya.
Ma'am, in school I had to write 2 pages of properties about multiplication.
Yes, so we have a lot of properties here. Okay, and before we start, I just want to tell you and remind you, you would already know it, but addition is opposite to subtraction and inverse. So subtraction is opposite to addition. Similarly, multiplication is opposite to division, and then division is opposite to multiplication. Is that clear? So in a multiplication problem, we can find two division problems. And in a division problem, we can find two multiplication problems. Similarly, like two addition and subtraction. Okay, so let's start. First, we are going to look at properties of multiplication. Now, the first property of multiplication is the property of zero. Okay. Can you tell me, Adya, what is this property of zero?
Ma'am, if you multiply any number with 0, the the product will be 0 only.
Correct. So let's write that down. When a number is multiplied by zero, when a number is multiplied by zero, the product is zero. Okay,
Ma'am, can I just go get my maths notebook?
sure. Done. Keep it ready now for every class.
No, ma'am, I just came from outside, so
No.
I couldn't.
Okay. Okay. No problem. When a number is multiplied by zero, the product is zero. And also write one example to remember this. Let's say 28 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. Okay. Next. Next is the property of 1. Can you tell me, Advaita, what is the property of 1?
Yes, ma'am. When a number is multiplied by 1, the product is the same number.
Correct. So let's write that down. When a number is multiplied by 1, a product is.
Good evening.
Hello, Arish. Good evening. Why are you late, darling?
Ma'am, I'm in Bangalore and I was playing with my old friends.
And you forgot about the class, is it?
Oh.
Okay, chalo, let's write. We are doing
Ma'am, I also
multiplication and
got
division
my
properties.
maths.
Do we have to write this?
Yes, yes. Start writing along with me.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I also got my maths notebook. I wrote this much.
Today only you did properties of multiplication.
No, ma'am, not today. Today we didn't have school.
Acha, Saturday all holiday. Okay, good. That's a great revision for you, Adya. So when a number is multiplied by 1, the product is the number itself. Okay. Let's write one example for this. Give me one example, Adya, for this one.
Ma'am, 21 multiplied by 1 is 21.
Right? Write it down one more time so it is fit in your mind. You don't forget about it, okay? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to finish this and then we'll start with the next one. Ready?
No, ma'am.
Now, before writing, let's discuss the next one. It is called as a commutative property or the order property. What do you mean by that? Do you get any like hint from the word order?
Ma'am, if you change the order of the numbers, the product will still remain the same.
Correct. And by the way, I forgot to ask you, what are the two numbers called? So, for example, which two numbers I'm asking you? These two numbers. This one is called what? This one is called what? And this one is called what? The number 21 is? Yes, Advaita, do you know them?
Ma'am, multiplicand.
Correct. So first one is your multiplicand. Also write this down. If you think you will forget, write it down. What is number 1 here? It is the
Multiplier.
multiplier. So the second number with which we are multiplying multiplicand is your multiplier. And the answer that you get is your product. So product is your answer. Now for the commutative property to work, the property says that when two numbers are multiplied, you can change the order of the numbers and the product will still remain the same. The product will not change. Okay, so let's write that down. Third one.
Ma'am, I'm still writing the second one.
First one. Okay. Can you write it? I mean, can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Commutative property, or it is also called as order. So this word, this keyword will help you remember what that property is. Okay. When two numbers are multiplied, a change in the order of numbers, a change in the order, the numbers that are multiplied or to be multiplied, does not change your product. Okay. Does not change the product. So if you multiply 2 by 3, you'll still get the answer 6. And if you multiply 3 by 2, you'll still get the answer 6. That is your commutative property. So the order of numbers, even if you change the numbers that are getting multiplied, you'll still get the same product. So just write that example, 2 by 3 will also be 6 and 3 by 2 will still be 6. Harish, I think there's some disturbance, darling, from your end in the background. Okay. So are we clear with the first three properties? Property of zero states that if you multiply any number by zero, the product will be zero. Property of one states that if a number is multiplied by one, the product will be the same number itself. And the commutative property states that even if you change places of these numbers to be multiplied, the product will not change, it will remain the same.
And I think we did the same commutative property in addition.
Addition also, yes, yes. But this commutative property does not apply to subtraction and division.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I can do 2 by 1 division in 3 minutes.
Yes, you can't change the divisor and the dividend. Okay, now the next one. Should I turn the page? Are we done writing this?
Ma'am, I'm still writing the third one.
Okay, okay. I'll give you 2 minutes to finish up.
Multiply.
What about you, Advaita? Are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
All right. Arish, finished, darling?
No, ma'am.
Not yet.
Numbers.
Again, one more thing. I'll leave you a little bit early today, maybe 10 minutes early, because I need to go out somewhere. Okay? I need to join my family after the class. Now, what would be the associative property? Till then, Advaita, Adya, tell me. Let's discuss that. We have done associative and addition as well. So try to remember what that was. It would be kind of similar in multiplication. Can you think what it was? The keyword for associative property is grouping. Now, remember?
Ma'am, you can like group the numbers in any order.
For multiplying how many digits or how many numbers actually? For example, if I'm giving you 4 numbers, 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 5. Now tell me, how will you solve this one?
Ma'am, done.
Okay, let's take that example here. 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 and multiplied by 5. If we are doing multiplication of this, how does the associative property fit here? Whenever we are doing multiplication of more than 2 numbers, you can group those numbers. What do I mean by group? I can solve this one first, and then I can solve this one, right? And whatever answer I get, what is 2 multiplied by 3?
6.
6. Copy this multiplication sign. And what is 4 multiplied by 5?
20.
20. Now, you have to multiply this one. What is 6 multiplied by 20?
Ma'am, 120.
120. Understood? So let's write this property down. Take this as your example, but let's write the property first. Fourth one is called as the associative property. And the key word here to remember this property is grouping. You're grouping two numbers at a time to carry out the multiplication in the most easiest way. Okay? See, if you do 2 multiplied by 3, 6. 6 multiplied by 4. Let's do it another way. Same question, another way. 2 by 3 by 4 by 5. So 2 by 3 is 6. 6 multiplied by 4 is what?
6 4s are 24, 6 5s are 30, got 2.
4. And 24 multiplied by 5?
120.
120. Again, the same answer. So did the product change in both the ways of solving the question? No. So what does this associative property tell us? You can change or group the numbers in any which ways, and your product will still remain the same. Okay, let's write that down. Change in the grouping. A change in the grouping of. Okay, this will be very confusing. Hold on. Let me simplify it. The numbers can be grouped in any order to carry out a multiplication. Arish, darling, keep on mute.
Yes, ma'am.
The numbers can be grouped in any order to carry out the multiplication, and the product of the same and the product will remain the same. Okay. So no one question. Write this as example now. Okay. Same example can also be solved in another way, third way. What can that be? I can multiply 2 into 5 first and then 3 into 4. And whatever answers you get, you can multiply those two numbers and still you'll get the same product. Okay, what is 2 5s are? 10. And what is 3 4s are? 12.
12.
So 10 into 12 is 120. Correct? So no matter which numbers you multiply first or whichever grouping you do for carrying out this multiplication, the product will remain the same. Are we clear with the difference of commutative and associative property? Commutative is generally used for two numbers when there is only one multiplicand and one multiplier. And associative is used for more than two numbers. Okay? Clear? All right, let's write this down and then I'll tell you the fifth property. Finished writing? Copy both the sides of examples. First
Then,
one
ma'am.
and the second.
Then, ma'am.
Done? Okay. Now, till then, Adya, can you tell me what is the next property? Distributive property of multiplication. Have you heard about it or have you learned it in school?
Ma'am, they haven't told us like the names of all of the properties.
Okay. But is there any other property than the 4 that we have done till now? Can you remember that?
Ma'am, a multiplication with tens, hundreds, and thousands. So
Okay,
if
that
you
is multiplication of larger numbers and with tens, hundreds, and thousands. But that's not a specific property which will apply to all kinds of multiplication. It will only apply to the numbers tens, hundreds, and thousands, right? So that is a different part. We are going to look at it. But what is a property which can be applied to all kinds of equations?
ma'am, I'll just try to remember.
Advaita, what about you? Have you heard about it? No? Okay. Arish, what about you, darling? No? Okay. Are you finished writing, Arish? So let's take an example first before writing the definition of the distributive property. Okay. Let's say I have 2 multiplied by 6 plus 4. This is my equation. You have to solve this equation. Can you tell me how you're going to do? What will be the first step?
Ma'am, first step, you have to add 6 plus 4.
Okay. What is 6 plus 4?
10.
10 multiplied by 2 here.
2.
And what will be the answer?
Ma'am, 20.
20. Now, this same question can be solved in another way. And what is that? This
Ma'am, you
also
can
be solved in another way. 2
ma'am,
multiplied by
6. 2
6.
multiplied by 6 plus 4.
No. 2 multiplied by 6 will be 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. You won't get the same. What should we do here? Try to think before I explain. Try to think. What should we do to get the same answer as 20? Arish, do you know?
Ma'am,
Better?
ma'am, we can do 2 times 4 plus 6.
That's the same thing, no? You did 6 plus 4 here. That's why you got 10. And after that, you did the multiplication, 2 multiplied by 10. But I'm asking you, is there any other way which you can solve this equation to get the same answer? No? Okay, I'll tell you. It has 2 steps to it. This one was a 1 step. And this one has 2 steps. Okay, and what are those 2 steps? First, you have to multiply 2 to 6. Then, excuse me, then you have to multiply this 2 with 4. Let's carry that out. 2 into 6. First, I'm going to write the expansion form of that. 2 into 6, because that is the first part. Then I'm going to take this addition sign in between. And then what is the second part? 2 into 4. 2 into 4. Now tell me, what is 2 times 6?
Ma'am, 2 6 and 10.
Plus, and 2 times 4?
8.
8, ma'am.
What is your answer? Is that the same answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is your distributive property. Basically, you are distributing it along with the addition or the sum. What is the sum here? 6 plus 4 is your sum. Correct? And you are introducing multiplication with the sum. In that case, what do? You distribute the multiplier to both the digits in the sum. So you multiply 2 with 6, addition and then you multiply 2 with 4. First, you carry out the multiplication part, and then you carry out the addition. Always remember there is this rule. This is other than the property, but remember this. BODMAS. Have you heard about BODMAS?
Yes, ma'am.
Very, very important to solve multiplication, addition, division, and subtraction problems. And this rule applies here. BODMAS means first you solve brackets.
Ma'am, brackets of
Brackets
division,
of
multiplication,
division,
addition, and subtraction.
multiplication, addition, and subtraction. This is how you carry out your sum. Okay. So first, whatever is in the bracket, you solve that. After that, you do division. After that, you do multiplication. Then you do addition in that, and then lastly, you do the subtraction. Okay. So write this down. Bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Okay. This is how you will solve any kind of equation which has multiple operations going on in it. Okay. One can be a division part. The other part of the same equation will have multiplication. The other part will have addition. So how will you decide what to solve first? By using the BODMAS method. First, you solve anything that is within the brackets. Then you do division, then you do multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. Okay. Now don't write these examples as of now, the sums that we have solved. First, let's write the distributive property, the definition, and then I'll change the page here again to the examples.
Ma'am, our teacher said that like if we're doing with multiplication and division should not be rearranged in BODMAS. Like in BODMAS, we rearrange the addition, we put the addition first and then we subtract. So our teacher said that we shouldn't do the same thing with multiplication and division.
Correct. Why? Because division can only be carried out with a bigger number first, right? Dividend cannot be a smaller number than the divisor. Yes. So once we get to division, we are going to discuss this point, Adya. Just remind me one more time there. Okay. So let's write this down. Distributive property of multiplication. And what is this distributive property? The distributive property states that the distributive, it's a long sentence, so just write it along with me. The distributive property states that multiplying a sum by a number gives the same result or same product, gives the same product as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the products together. And then adding the products together. The distributive property states that multiplying a sum by a number gives the same product as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the products together. Okay, so the formula that you can write for this one is like this. Copy the formula as well. A into B plus C will be equal to A into B plus A into C. Correct? Let's write it down. And you can make a square or a box for the formula so you don't forget that. Finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you write the formula?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Arish, Tanavya, what about you, darlings? Done? Arish, sit down now. How is this comfortable? By standing. I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Ma'am, I'm comfortable and writing.
Comfortable by standing and doing the work.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So one more minute and then we'll write the example.
Adding the pro adding the product to
Finished. Return the page.
I'm writing the formula.
Oh,
A into B Mommy, can you be quiet? I'm done.
finished, Adya? Let's write these two examples, the one that I've written in blue.
Mommy.
Finished.
Done, ma'am.
Arish done? Advaita? Finished? Okay. Let's start with the next part. Now the next part I'm just going to tell you orally. You can write it down. There are 3 more properties, but it's just a fact for you to remember. Okay, it's not necessarily considered as a property because it does not change how you do multiplication. Okay, so the first one is when we multiply an odd number by an even number, the product is always even. So just make a note of it in your notebook. When we multiply an odd number, so the sixth one is when you multiply an odd number by an even number, your product is always going to be an even number. So write the sentence down. When we multiply an odd number by an even number, the product is always an even number. Adya, are you writing?
Done, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you repeat that?
When we multiply an odd number
Multiply and add
when we multiply an odd number
yes, ma'am.
by an even number,
By an even number,
the product is always an even number.
the product is always an even
The product is always an even number. Now, the seventh property is of multiplying two odd numbers. So, the product of two odd numbers is always odd. So, write it down. The product of two odd numbers. So, one odd number multiplied by another odd number will always give you the product as the odd number. Write the sentence. The product of the product of two odd numbers, the product of two odd numbers
the
product of two odd numbers is always odd.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. The product of two odd numbers is always odd. And what would be the last one here? The product of two even numbers will be
Even.
even. Correct. Let's write that down. The product of two even numbers will always be even. The product of two even numbers is always even. The product of two even numbers is always even.
Done, ma'am.
Done? Okay. Now let's do a few multiplication problems before we move on to the multiplication by 10, 100 and 1000. Okay?
Ma'am, the product of even number.
The product of two even numbers is always even. The product of two even numbers is always even. I'll just put my laptop to charging. Okay, 1 second.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, let's start with the first one here. Now we are going to solve a few questions before we look at the next concept in multiplication. The first number that you have to multiply is 2 multiplied by 4. What is the answer?
Ma'am, we have to write it.
Yes, solve it and then tell me the answer.
Ma'am, I got the answer.
What is it?
Ma'am, 4048.
That's it.
4048 number.
Very good.
4048, ma'am.
Good. Now let's do another one. 1258 multiplied by 5. Arrange it vertically. Always your subtraction, multiplication, and division. In fact, all the operations, when they get more than 3-digit numbers, arrange it vertically so you don't make even a minor mistake in that. Okay? So arrange it vertically and multiply, and then tell me what's the answer here.
Ma'am, 7290, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am,
5290.
1290.
No. Everybody's 1,000 places wrong. All three of you, your thousands place is wrong. Check again.
Ma'am, I got the answer.
And that is,
2090.
why are you saying 2? 5 multiplied by 1. What's in the 1,000 place?
Ma'am,
These are 5.
6290.
5 multiplied by 2 is 10. 1 carry 2090.
Ma'am, 6290.
That's correct. 6,290. Harish, look here, darling. 1258 multiplied by 5. What is 5 eights are?
40.
40. 5 fives are
25.
25 plus 4,
29.
29.
9. 5 twos are 10. 10
10.
plus 2,
12.
12. And 5 ones is 5 plus 1, 6. Okay? Let's do one more and then we will stop. Let's do a bigger one now. This one was 258 multiplied by 52.
Ma'am, 516.
No, that's incomplete actually. You've just done one digit. It's a 2-digit multiplication, right?
Ma'am, I wrote the number wrong, ma'am.
Right. It's
258 times 2, ma'am.
acha. It's 52.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
5,366.
Sorry. Once again, tell me.
5,366.
No.
Ma'am, can I say?
Hmm.
Ma'am, 13,416.
Very good. That's correct. Harish, do the multiplication again, darling, and tell me. Did you copy the numbers correctly? And darlings, this is a very common mistake all children make, huh? Because what happens is in the question paper, you have to copy the numbers from the question paper to another rough sheet, right? To solve it.
For us, we
To
do
make-
it in the question paper only.
Yeah, but whatever it is, you have to still copy the numbers. And many children make mistake here only. They copy the wrong numbers. And then the whole answer gets tossed. And no matter how much they know it correctly, they still get the wrong answer. We don't want to make that mistake.
Ma'am, is it 1,806?
No, darling. Okay, let's solve it together. 2,
1,300, ma'am.
no, it's still incomplete. Let's do it together here.
Ma'am, I told the answer already.
But then, yes, I know. You are only going to explain. How do you did it now? Chalo. Tell me, what did we do first?
Yes, ma'am. 8 multiplied by 2.
No,
8
that is the wrong way of saying. You're multiplying. You're saying which table? You're saying tables of your multipliers. So 2 times 8, 2 times 5. You have to read it like that. Okay? Sure.
2 times 8 is 16.
So 1 carryover, 6 in the ones place. 2 times 5 is
2 times 5 is 5 twos are 10.
10,
Plus 1, 11.
11. So again, 1 carryover, 1 down. 2,
Ma'am,
2.
13,016.
No, it's incomplete, darling Arish. Now pay attention, I'm explaining you. 2 twos are
And 2 twos are 4 plus 1 is 5.
5. So this is just your step or your product by
Step 2.
multiplying it with 2. Now in the second step, you have
Ma'am, you have to first cross 2 and the carryovers.
yes, I'll tell you why. Now you have to multiply by 5 in the second step. Okay? In this step, you have to multiply by 5. Now, since we have done the ones place, okay, 2 is already done in the first step. That's why in the second step, in place of the ones, we are going to either cross it or write a 0 over there, because that place will be empty now because it is already done in this step here, first step. Okay. Now let's multiply by 5. These carryovers are gone. 5 eights are
8 fives are 5 eights are 40.
4 carryover and 0 in the tens place. 5
5 fives are 25. And 25 plus 4 is 29.
right? So again 2 carryover and 9 in the hundreds place. And the last one is 5 times 2.
5 times 2 is 10.
10 and plus 2,
12.
12. So you write that 12 here. And
And
in
you put 2
multiplication,
zeros on top.
do addition, right? So we are going to add step 1 answer to the step 2 answer. And now check what answer we get. 6 plus 0 is
6.
6.
1.
1 plus 0 is 1.
1.
5 plus
What
9 is
14.
so 4 here, 1 carry over. 2 plus 1 is
3.
3 and 1 same. Right? So your final answer is 13,460. Did you understand the steps? First, you carry out in step 1, you carry out the product by multiplying it with ones digit. In this case, it was 2. Right? Then in the second step, this is your second step. In the second step, first you write 0 in the ones place. Why? Because that place is already done. Now you will write all the answers that you get from the 10th stage onwards. Okay? And in the second step, your product will be by multiplying 5 to each of these 3 digits. Correct? Are you understanding it? So step 1 is product by 10 ones number. Step 2 is product by tens number. And since it's only multiplied by 2 digits, the multiplier is only 2 digits. We'll have only 2 steps here. And then your final product will be an addition of step 1 and step 2. Okay. Then you carry out your regular addition, and whatever answer you get is the answer or the final product of your whole multiplication. Did you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now quickly write down a few sums for your homework, and you're going to share it with me in the next week. 325 multiplied by 6.
Ma'am, I finished the homework that you gave in the last class. I just couldn't send it to you.
For me, the question
Send. Yes,
Ma'am,
Arif?
can you see the question of third one?
See here. 325 into 6. Then we have 540 into 8. Fourth question is 638 multiplied by 24. Fourth one is 5201 multiplied by 32. And the fifth question is 6349 multiplied by 50. Okay, 5 questions for your homework. If you want, just take a screenshot because even I have to leave now.
Ma'am, I finished writing them.
And now in the next class, we will look at multiplication with 10, hundreds, and thousands. After that, we'll also look at the lattice method of solving a multiplication. Okay. And then we will start with division. So this whole chapter of multiplication and division will take at least 2 to 3 classes. Okay. And once we finish all the properties and all the different methods of solving multiplication and division, then we'll do the questions based on that. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Should I close the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.